Yesterday, I had a chance to meet with President Trump at the White House. Shared with him that his nominees, they are receiving strong support here in the United States Senate. And I assured President Trump that Republicans in the Senate are committed to working around the clock to confirm his nominees. To put this into perspective, yesterday, President Trump invited several of us to travel with him later this week. He's going to be going to North Carolina as well as Los Angeles to see the impact of the disasters and the devastation in both places. Well, we thanked him for the invitation, told him that we have pressing responsibilities right here on the floor of the United States Senate, because we're prepared to work late into the night and long weekends if Democrats choose to deliberately delay the votes on his cabinet, as it appears they are doing right now. So that's exactly what we're planning to do, continue to work to get these individuals who are strong and tough confirmed by the United States Senate. Last night, what we saw here in this body were Democrats decided to stall the confirmation of John Ratcliffe. Mr. Ratcliffe is President Trump's nominee to be director of the Central Intelligence Agency. The nomination is supported completely, bipartisan. Actually, his specific nomination was voted 14 in favor to only 3 against in the committee, the Intelligence Committee of the United States Senate. But last night here in this body, Democrats chose last-minute obstruction. They're just going to slow it down anyway, even though he's been supported out of the Intelligence Committee bipartisan 14-3. What they are doing is shameful. Our world is far too dangerous to delay confirming the head of the CIA. So I hope my Democrat colleagues don't have plans for the weekend, because I guarantee you the Senate's going to be here in Washington voting to confirm President Trump's nominees. So get ready for some long nights, long hours, day after day after day. We're going to be here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday if we have to. We're ready to work around the clock, and we mean it. That's what Americans voted for. According to a recent Fox poll, 78% of Americans say Democrats should work with President Trump. The American people elected President Trump to change Washington, to get the country back on track. They voted for common sense, and President Trump is a common sense president. President Trump has proposed an agenda that is popular, it's optimistic, and it is unifying. And he has chosen a strong team to work with him. President Trump has built, I would say, a cabinet that's not business as usual. His nominees are motivated, they are qualified, and they are committed to Americans' safety and prosperity. They're going to work aggressively to address the challenges of high prices, of open borders, of crime, and what we have seen in the last administration, which was an America Last energy policy. Oh, they're ready to go after the burdensome regulations that face people all across the country. You know, hours after President Trump was sworn in, senators voted unanimously to confirm Marco Rubio to be Secretary of State. This week, we have more nominees to consider. And as the Senate exercises our constitutional duty, we should remember a few facts. First, let's compare this to President Obama, who had 7 cabinet nominees confirmed on his very first day in office. Second, the current Democrat leader at that podium moved quickly to confirm President Bush Biden's nominees. And he said that swift confirmation votes, he said, are traditional for a new president. Third, Democrats are actually supporting many of President Trump's nominees in the committees. That proves what we already know, that these nominees, in addition to being bold, have bipartisan support. All but 2 Democrats voted with every Republican to support Kristi Noem after her hearings in the Homeland Security Committee. She's been nominated by President Trump to be the Secretary of Homeland Security. Her vote was 13-2. Several Democrats also voted to support Scott Bessent, who was President Trump's nominee to be Secretary of the Treasury. Let me remind my colleagues what Democrats have said about President Trump's nominees. Senator Tammy Baldwin of Wisconsin introduced Sean Duffy for his hearing, and he was nominated by the President to be Secretary of Treasury. What Senator Baldwin said was a glowing comment. She said Sean Duffy is the right guy to help deliver for Wisconsin families, businesses, and workers. Our colleague John Hickenlooper of Colorado introduced Chris Wright at the hearing to be Secretary of Energy. Senator Hickenlooper said this. He said, Mr. Wright is, quote, a scientist who has invested his life around energy. Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona said Lee Zeldin is a, quote, qualified candidate to lead the Environmental Protection Agency. Senator Martin Heinrich of New Mexico said Doug Burgum, current governor of North Dakota, is, quote, a talented nominee to lead the Department of Interior. I think we should pay attention to those comments. Democrats know that President Trump's nominees are ready to get on the job and are qualified to do the work. Yeah, the Senate should give advice and consent. That's an obligation we have. But disgruntled Democrats should not use the Senate's constitutional power as an excuse to delay and deny. Americans want results. That's what they voted for in November. They did not vote for resistance. They want to get this country back on track. Thank you, Mr. President.